CCPC, Cross Country Poetry Celebration. This initiative was put in place to promote pulchritudinous poetry across the nation, and here is your invitation.
In this year's edition, Past Poetry will be hosting Ondo State rendition of CCPC in Futa at Akweya TV. The thrilling theme shall be the power and pleasure of poetry.
We feel the force of fluency and phonetics flowing through your veins, and the swirl of goosebumps as your emotions take the reins.
You will be beyond entertained, welcomed by warm words, inspired by sizzling sentences, wined and dined with poems designed to feed your mind.
This will be the peak of poetry, the aristocracy of hearts. This is CCPC, and your chance to join the community.
So be there on Saturday, 26th of October in Futa at Akweya TV. We will be expecting you.
Welcome to Akweya TV's marking of the cross-country celebration of poetry. And now, someone is going to correct me. Cross-country poetry celebration. And I've got someone who is already laughing because she's a coordinator of it in Abuja, right?
Yes.
That's Chinatu, Orji. She's going to be here with me. And then Osita, Ndukwe, Otteh is here. And they are all creative people, lovers of poetry, and this is a show pushed by the poets in Nigeria, PAIN. And PAIN is an amazing group that has done a lot, pushing poetry. Eriata Oribabo, the founder, has done this under different platforms. He has even built a center for poetry, for art celebration. So it's good to have you here, Chinatu.
My pleasure. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm very sure we'll have a swell time.
You're going to have a swell time. If you're there, just know that it's a real swell time. Chinyere, yeah, are you happy to be here or sad?
Very, very happy.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my kind of thing.
Oh, great. So we're going to read poetry. We're going to get poetry performances from different countries. This is happening in how many states?
Over 30 locations.
Over 30 locations. Isn't that?
Very
that's like a whole nation celebrating poetry. And how PAIN pulls this off is a feat in itself in Nigeria, where nobody tries to push resources to the celebration. How do you guys do it?
People like you make us do it. But I think the first thing is the passion. So when you're driven by something, when something drives you, you really do not care if people support you because you know that you want to achieve something. And I think that's the vision of the founder of Poets in Nigeria, Eriata Oribabo. He goes for what he wants, irrespective of whether he gets support, he gets funding or not. He goes for it 100%. So I must say it's the passion that keeps us going.
It's amazing. I was in Calabar for the
Festival Poetry, Calabar,
Poetry. Yes. He has also the food poetry.
Yes, we have over 20 initiatives of PAIN.
Yeah.
There are lots of that.
Awarding prizes and stuff.
That's Nigerian Students Poetry Prize.
The Nigerian Students Poetry Prize. So what do you think about this?
I think it is a very good development. For me, creatives rule the world. They don't really, bother about sponsorship and the rest of them. Just like she said, the drive carries the day and things are happening. What they are saying matter. And that's where we are. So I'm happy.
What they say, do they matter?
What they
you
say.
say creatives rule the world.
What they say matter.
Okay.
To us who are creatives, it matters to us, and to people that love poetry should matter to them. And the push is there. Because I know that if we make more pushes, we'll see more. Just
Yeah.
like you tell me always. So
Yeah.
we should we'll continue to cry. The poets, the writers, whoever performers, continue your work.
Yeah.
Heaven will come for you. Heaven will come for you if I should say that. Yes, yes. One day they will hear our voice.
You see, from 1975, this is Poems of Black Africa, edited by Wole Soyinka.
Can you imagine?
And poets from different parts of Africa wrote, and they have wailed, they have said different. Let me even read Kofi Awono's Songs of Sorrow, how poets have been lamenting. That's the title.
Songs of Sorrow.
Over the years.
It's going to be
Sounds familiar. Sounds like what?
Sounds like a reality.
Where we are, our reality.
1975 is 49 years ago. Okay. And probably he wrote it a year before that for it to be edited and published. So you can imagine that it's probably 50 years old. Now just listen. Let me read it. My voice is not very, nice, but Songs of Sorrow. Okay. Dogbe Selisa has treated me thus. It has led me among the sharps of the forests. Returning is not possible, and going forward is a great difficulty. The affairs of this world are like the chameleon faces into which I have stepped. When I clean, it cannot go. I am on the world's extreme corner. I am sitting in the row with the eminent, but those who are lucky sit in the middle and forget. I am on the world's extreme corner. I can only go beyond and forget. My people, I have been somewhere. If I turn here, the rains beat me. If I turn there, the sun beats me. The firewood of this world is for only those who can take heart. That is why not all can gather it. The world is not good for anybody, but you are so happy with your fate. Alas, the travelers are back, all covered with debt. Something has happened to me, the thing so great that I cannot weep. I have no sons to fire the gun when I die, and no daughters to wail when I close my mouth. I have wandered on the wilderness, the great wilderness men call life. The rain has beaten me, and the sharp storms cut as knives, as keen as knives. I shall go beyond and rest. I have no kin, no brother. Death has made war upon my house. And Petit's great household is no more. Only the broken fence stands, and those who dared not look in his face have come out as men.
Yes.
How well their pride is with them. Let those gone before take note. They have treated their offspring badly. What is the wailing for? Agosu himself, alas, a snake has bitten me. My right arm is broken, and the tree on which I lean is fallen. Agosi, if you tell them, tell Inyidevu, Petit, and Kove that they have done us evil. Tell them their house is fallen, and the trees in the fence have been beaten by termites, that the martyrs curse them. Ask them why they idle there while we suffer and eat sand. And the crow and the vulture hover always above our broken fences, and strangers walk over our portion. That's Kofi Awono from Poems of Black Africa, edited by Wole Soyinka in 1979. We're still writing similar kind of poetry, lamenting. Why?
Because it looks like, is there really a change? Because we are still seeing those things that we kept complaining about. I mean, as a matter of fact, it's like it's even getting worse. Today, I went somewhere to fill my gas, and the kids were saying that they were born when an egg was 50 naira. And I told them that if I told you I got egg for 30 naira, they said, oh, really? And so imagine if I wrote that time, and somebody reads it later, the person will be wondering, why is there no change? What's happening? Is it that the people we write to are not listening? Or do they read? I think that's a fair point. Do they read?
Do they read?
If they can't read,
how would they know that you have spoken to them?
So why is it that we keep selecting those who cannot read, madam?
Deep question, very deep.
Yeah.
we keep selecting. Do we select them?
Okay.
Well, they imposed on us.
Here in Africa, we don't really select. Sometimes they are selected for us, and your hands will be tied.
So what would you say if somebody accused poets that poetry is useless, it does nothing? What would you say?
Oh my God. I mean, that person must be talking from a place of ignorance, first of all. Because as much as I know, what poets do is that they become the voice of the voiceless. Yeah. We may not have all the resources. We may not have all the connections to reach those people we need to reach. Yeah. But what we have is our pen. What we have is our voice. Yeah. And so we do what we can do. Poets are not useless.
They say they are lazy. There's a critic that says they are lazy and that they're lamenting, they're romanticizing.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows a lazy person. I don't know any lazy poet around me.
Okay.
So I can speak around for the people I know. I don't know any lazy poets.
And it could also be that he is in the, you said in the place of ignorance. Yeah. As in, what he calls laziness, what he calls fantasizing, somebody is pouring out an emotion, another person is being touched. Yeah. As in, you are speaking about, look at what Kofi Akweya wrote those years. Yeah. Still relating with what we are having at hand. Everywhere is that people are crying, lamenting. Yeah. See how we lamented 49 years ago. Yeah. So if you had seen what we are seeing today, what would it be?
We must change the style of poetry. Shouldn't we stop lamenting and do something else? I don't know.
We should not agree to who says poetry is useless.
What difference do you think that will make, though?
Maybe poetry should mobilize people to do something instead of lamenting. Maybe
mobilize people to do something.
What we call
not just
poetry for the development in Splendors of Dawn Poetry Foundation.
Poetry for
that. Yeah. Can we make poetry mobilize people into action like Gen Zs did in
during
2020 during the NSAS? Can poetry do something?
Yes, I think a lot of young people are already doing this kind of poetry today, what they like to call spoken word poetry. Okay. When you listen to them, you're inspired to make a move. I now have listened to Crosswords, I've listened to Jim Adi, and every time I listen to these people, it makes me want to do something differently. Yeah. And so maybe we can have more of that. We can have more of those kind of poetry. So it's not just poetry. It's not just about love. It's not just like, we're romanticizing. Something that pushes you away from your corner, from your comfort zone. So I totally agree with you. Maybe we should really change this style.
What you're saying, my sister is saying, is poetry must be more active, as it must speak for itself. It shouldn't just stay in the books, the pages of books. It should jump out of the books and say what it's saying to people. They want to see. Yeah. Drama must come in. They want to, what you have, it must be performed. It must be performed. So we'll go more.
Not every poet can perform now.
Eh?
Not every poet can
perform. Like some people around can perform. We can know if you can think it.
Okay, you guys will give me one poetry each. From any of the books that are here. Just look for one
and
poem
perform.
Before we're going to get to those who are online in the different locations in Taraba, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Kebbi. Who's the coordinator this year?
Basira
Rabiu. She's doing great work, doing videos, mobilizing across. So before we hear from across the different cities, today, 26th October,
2024.
Today is 26th
October 2024.
Yeah, all right.
So this is The Face of Poverty from Monkey Paradise, Samson Odidi.
Oh yeah, interesting. Maybe some people who are here will not know. Samson Odidi was he's late now.
Yeah.
He was chair of the Association of Nigerian Authors Convention in Lokoja around 2004. I was there. He was a good friend, but he's late now. And beauty of writing, he's here.
His work lives on.
We are still listening to him.
Okay, this is entitled The Face of Poverty.
Sounds
from 2004.
I'm telling you again. The face of poverty is but sweet callous deprivation, impoverished conditionality. What is stardom of want? Disease spiced with torture, barrenness of ideas, and announcements of underdevelopment, salted with glaring wretchedness, poverty, a mortal Waterloo.
Poverty and mortal
Can you imagine?
Waterloo. Does lamentation come just naturally to poets? Are they just disconnected and just lamenting? Is it
Are they
what you
lamenters?
think? Okay.
I really think that it's about your reality. It's about things you experience, whether it's direct or indirect, right? Whether you experience it directly or indirectly. It's rare to write outside your realm. That's what I think.
Very rare.
It's very rare. So for this person to write this, for something to write this, you must know that he's seen poverty around him. He doesn't have to have been poor, but maybe people around him.
Yeah.
And so when you're able to interact with those kind of things, it affects you directly. And so what do we become?
This is cross-country poetry celebration.
Yeah.
And this is different poems we're going to have from different locations. I don't know if Chinyere is going to give us a poem. One
She
of your
will.
poems, or
She will.
One
She's
of my
having to
friends-
select.
you want to
I'm
select?
trying to carry corruption.
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 Corruption was done by Poets in All Poets Network by Khalid Imam. Kano.
Yes,
It was-
and it's not just a person. It's one. It's a okay.
Yeah, it's
We
in
collaborated and did it.
Gausa. Yeah, it's in Gausa poetry.
In Gausa. I will
Yeah.
not be able to call some of the names. That's why I might not take it.
Oh,
Please, can you help us with corruption?
Corruption.
Because I wanted to.
So now the assignment has been given back to me anyway.
But she still have
Thank
to.
you.
still has
I'm
to
going
give
to
us
do
one.
one. Yes.
Yeah. So, corruption. He says, this one is by Izu Kings Amadi. Izu Kings Amadi contributed this work. Where it's edited by Khalid Imam and Ola Ifatimehin. Ola Ifatimehin was also in the Creative Writers Club in Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. We were both in there. So he co-edited this. And this is a poem by Izu Kings Amadi. When sea gods discovered men, alone the best in the care of law. But Talakawa locked in the cage of law, few hands that clean their tables, 8 muscles that open their eyes. For the 8 fruit as well, they sacked the gods to fly our flag, munching our cake now alone. Oh, Siasa, Mulki Akweya. We can't breathe. Air is banked abroad from nostrils in coma, with Honorable Yunwa elected crime guards of our doors. We sing for change with explosive hearts, where wind of change is caged. Running to pulpits leads us to devils, running to guards, bullets rains on us, running to court, Naira rains the wig, saving hands of school caged in dollar terms. Unborn tomorrow, sold to dollar yuan in land of Chinatu. Before Yaran Masu Udi queue for food, reading begging bowls as books, their unconceived tomorrow aborted in Democrat thieves' climb. Gurubata Tung and Siasa, we can't breathe in their care. They aren't doctors but diseases. We chant change in ruins, but can we breathe? Then Majalisa, in crushing weight of your absence? Can we breathe, Shugaba, in raining arrows of your eyes? Can we dodge Chinhanchi in tsunamic wave of your handshake, freezing floods of your spits? How can we hear Ansiasa in the raucous of your quietness? How can we live Sako when our hands eats for all, when our fingers eats for all? We chant for Kwayawan W in Chains. Yeah, that's a poem by Izu Kings Amadi. I love what he has done here. That's the Ingausa poetry.
Hausa, English.
Yeah.
Together like that, and it's beautiful.
This collection is supported by CITA, the Center for Information Technology and Development, something we really want more organizations to do. Support the production of poetry and books in general. If you didn't support it, you can also buy collections. Buy 10, 20, 200 and distribute to schools. That's an entry point for you. I'm talking too much. All right. So
what you said about the collaboration is what, you know, I'm interested. How did you say it? You said this is the kind of thing you are doing, and is actually helping to, you know, project the stories, the poets.
Pin is doing that. Splendors of Dawn is doing that. Aroja Theatre. There are a number of groups promoting literature and poetry. And what they are doing is now reaching out to donor organizations to support in different ways. And this is one of such collaborations.
Very commendable. Very commendable.
Thank you.
Okay, as we go on, I want to read a poem from my little collection.
Okay, they may want to see your face.
Okay, the poem, this one is titled, This Nation Will Survive. Seriously, they have lobbied me to say, use this. You know why? We have been lamenting about poverty, corruption, and the likes. Now, I want to do something that should give us hope, because in all we need hope to survive. So I say, this nation will survive. If those who started in manners dishonorable, with shaken history and background, whose love for rancor motivated, would cover their faces in shame for crime-filled days, a regular feature, a recurrent decimal. If those whose heritages were crooked, never clinging to anything true, will show remorse for turbulence reigning supreme, this nation will survive. If those who saw countless perils on end, living every hour at their lives' wit's end, with no nation to call their own, if they will be appeased, if those who never saw a beautiful, serene society would have peace, if and only if quaked economies survive, crimes red hot with climate untamed, nations are washed with volcanic eruptions, constant tsunamis, tornadoes, nations with corrupt-ridden governments, who sold their nations for a pound of flesh. If they wangle their ways into the rough parts of development, those lacking apparently every requirement, if these ones could make it at the end of the day, then this nation, so loved by the Almighty, cherished, even bestowed with rich human capacity, endowed with mineral resources, with brains unequaled, and a comfortable climate. There is therefore no limit to the heights which we can attain as we find our feet in the sands of time. That's for my fatherland, Nigeria.
Yeah.
I think to Nigeria survivor. Yeah. So I was trying to say there, all hope is not lost.
Okay.
If others who had rougher beginnings at the end have survived and we are looking up to them, our time is just a wink away. So we should, yes. It will look be like a dream.
Gen Z says no. Gen Z says
because
years ago we were complaining.
seriously, yes. Now that's how it looks.
Yeah.
But I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel always.
Are we ingrate as a people, ungrateful to God? Like we complained in Obasanjo, we complained in Buhari, complained in Yaradua, and now we're still complaining.
See, that is true.
Okay.
That's what you are seeing going round. As in, there's that atom of ingratitude in all of us. Yeah. Even when, you know, like now, I've woken up healthy. My mates didn't wake up.
Yeah.
Look at the poets we have here. Some of them are dead. Thank God their words are still speaking for them. But I will still be looking for more things from God. I had not said thank you for the life I have.
Yeah.
That my mates that are more beautiful are not alive. So that's what also happens. Yeah. Like you see this very terrible period we are going through that is so painful.
Yeah.
Cost of food items are so high.
Yeah.
No. We're not holding beef to the government at all.
Yeah.
We're not saying they are doing well. We're just trying to help ourselves and come out of it.
Exactly.
So even in this period, you see that people are learning more skills. People are more
their brains are
knowledgeable. Everybody is becoming an entrepreneur.
At what detriment?
Okay.
Whose detriment?
At what detriment?
Now, this conversation will go on. I want us to listen to the poets that are online in different locations right now.
All right.
I don't know which location we'll take first, but what's the rallying theme for this cross-country poetry celebration by Poetry Nigeria and partner?
All right, so for this year's cross-country poetry celebration, the theme is the power and pleasure of poetry, and PIN will be marking
power and pleasure
of poetry.
Oh, I thought I had pan.
Let me
Pan-African thing.
The power and pleasure of poetry. So we have different locations, like I mentioned earlier, over 30 locations. We have people joining in and outside Nigeria to celebrate this year. Yeah. So we'll have poetry readings, we'll have panel sessions, we'll have people who, on this show, people will send in their recordings, we'll have videos, we'll have audios, we'll have just people performing, making us enjoy poetry for the life that it is.
All right, so let's go to our first set of locations and we'll be right back. If you are looking at us right now, watching us from different locations, you can subscribe to the Akweya TV channel. You can subscribe to @PIN Nigeria. They've got channels on different social media platforms. So please don't forget, we're partners and we'll bring you some more poetry.
A thin, long, loose rope hangs tightly around her neck like a man on a mission of death. She is a bell point of Christ, but crushed, caged, crippled, till her heart ripples with pain. Hope stretches to lead through the storm, yet deceit takes the upper hand in rule. Illusion masquerades as justice and equity as the uproar of her cry fills the air with the heart-wrenching question, how long will this continue?
I am Ismaila Odumbro Emmanuel, presenting a poem titled, Maybe We Are Cursed. You warmed your hands with oil, flashed our ears with sand, greased our palms with kernel. We only eat when there is war, with stones in our pockets and tears in our bag. Our mother hugged her shame. She told us how laughter insulted her. After we named you good, you saw it, but you were blind. While we crept and weaved, you bathed with your empty cars. You closed your heaven when it whispered our cries to your ear. Yet, we are left to interpret the language our pain speaks to a man whose eyes are open not to see the hands raised by our cries.
I am Fortune Simeon, and this is my entry for the Splendor of Dawn Poetry Contest. I postulate that slavery often begins with a luring, like a bird, craving a cage as a home because of grains dispersed by a hunter. I watched the man on TV coding into our bodies to thump him. In all hours of his speaking, I concluded that, here, words are what often snare us. Brethren, rechristen me. The horror of slavery pipelined into my heart made me forget my name. Here, hunger kills us more often than firearms. The man revolted was the fire that raised our farms. Unmuzzle me, and let me speak about how tiny we've become, and how little we know of liberty, say no to corruption, vote for accountability.
My name is Bella Victor, and this is my entry for the Splendor of Dawn Poetry Competition. Hell and everything the fire made of us. Every time, slavery wears itself into my father's body, folds my mother into fire, the ash, the smoke, the color of burnt body. This is how we watch our nightmares unfold. Say my heart has been shaped into my mother's grief. Say democracy has always been fire enough to bring us to this hell. Say this was how we traded our tongue for servitude. Lord, teach us how to free ourselves from this chain. Lead us out of this flame. Say no to corruption. Vote for accountability.
Oh, welcome back from those wonderful renditions of poetry. Different locations and centers doing something that you enjoy. We're so happy as Akweya TV to partner with the poets in Nigeria. It's a whole network, and you can see the variety that you get from across Africa and different parts of Nigeria. We're going to take some readings within the studio, and then after the readings, we'll regale you with more poetry, and you'll have fun this year.
Okay, who's going?
Who's going first? Okay.
Because I have some laments again.
Oh God. Because you guys are lamenting too much, I'll read one that's not a lamentation. You guys should hold on.
Mother Africa.
Sorry, lift your poem a bit up so that...
Yes. By Chinyere, your humble self, your humble friend here.
I know it's you, but I don't know about the humble. But just go ahead.
I don't want to go in. My tear drops for our Africa. Tip, tip, tip. Our continent lies in ruin. Ruins of crime. Ruins of dirty politicking. Yes. Ruins of unsilenced guns. Our tears tick, took, and flow. The eyes of deprived mothers. Yes, Mother Africa, whose teenage children are high on glue, conscripted for battles not ripe for, conscripted for disembowelling. My eyes drool for my fatherland. My tongue speaks the tears of Rwandan women those years, and the wailings of the youth of Central African Republic. Tears for children, tears of children from northern Nigeria. When will the flow cease? Oh, that we may see those days of tranquility again. Those days of unity, of peace and harmony. But wait. Yes, I must wait. We must wait for the good old days. We must wait for the good old days. Days of peace. They will return so that our joys may be full.
There's something about her work. She's really hopeful. She's very hopeful.
What can we do without hope?
What felt this hope?
A hopeless situation, you must hold on to hope.
Yeah.
Hope.
I remember there was one writer in apartheid that used to write poetry about love and very hopeful stuff.
And very terrible period. He was writing those things.
He was writing those poems in, and that's a good way.
I think, you know, he has a way of making life to continue. Somebody will listen to it and drop the hanging news. He will not go back and, you know, he say, okay, there may be hope. So I think it's worth doing.
Yeah, hope is a good currency to have.
It's a good currency. I just think it's a way many Nigerians console themselves, even when they know that nothing will happen. They just console themselves.
You say nothing will happen.
Why do you think nothing will happen? Isn't that very unhopeful?
You read the work here.
Yeah.
49 years ago. I'm in shock. I'm in shock. And we are crying over the same thing again in 2024.
So is there nothing different we should do? Should we still lament?
We said we should lament in a better way now.
You spoke about mobilizing.
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 Infuse poetry into everything we are doing.
I think one person I know that does something like that is DK Chukwumerije. Mobilizes people with his work.
Exactly.
Like the one I saw yesterday.
Positive about Nigeria, positive about Africa.
Yeah.
And when he started this, he also was in our studios here. 2014, thereabouts, we had recordings here. And he is somebody dedicated to his craft. And I think he's in the Ibadan Center today, right?
Always. And I think people are listening to him. People are watching him.
Yeah.
He's making impact.
Audiences that you don't expect will listen to poetry. DK has broken that into that space. And when he teaches his sessions about marketing literature, what he is teaching is actually what he does, which is go to the non-converted audience. So it's not us that he really targets in his work. He's going to bankers and policymakers that may not ordinarily read poetry, but they are listening to it being performed. And
so there's something about performance.
There's something about performance. Performance brings connection.
Yeah.
It's page poetry is a bit elitist. It has its own role, but
more relaxing.
Performance poetry,
more relaxing.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's just a lazy way to just okay.
Okay, give us one
lazy. Roll your eyes. But when somebody's performing, it puts you on your toes.
Yeah.
It's almost like, yes, take the mantle, just go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just do something from the president of Poets in Nigeria, Iriata Oribabo.
Okay.
This is a stanza from his poem, Music and Dances. It says, wondering if you ever encountered a terrific moment in the sky's wondrous rest of cloudy waves. In likes of the sea's fading dance with rainbows, the creative pursuit of setting suns and sundering lines, in consummation of nature. Iriata Oribabo, Lagos, Nigeria.
You've not told us about his Niger pidgin poetry, Niger language.
Okay. Yeah, he's an advocate for pidgin, Nigerian pidgin. He's written lots of works in pidgin. I should even look for pidgin poem. Yes, let's see.
Yeah, Iriata has been pushing for standardization of Niger language, which is spelled Naija and Langwej, Niger language. Yeah, so that's what's the difference? Do you know? No, but you don't have to.
I mean, he's pushing that whatever you see should be written that way. That's the difference in the Niger language. Yes. So the way you speak it is the way it's written. So you don't have to stress about understanding. And I have a work from him here. It's called Pocket Without Poem, but it's in pidgin.
Poem.
Oh God, let me try. I'm not such a pidgin. You don't tell why I won't write you.
See how beautiful your voice is.
Okay. You don't tell why I won't write you. As you say, if I want sabi you, make I no fail to make you laugh with me. Reading my heart for you. You don't tell when me I.
Sorry. We got a call from different center, but we're not taking calls now. Go ahead, please.
You don't tell when me and you they try to put me and you for the best glass way you and me go show. How true love the last true. You don't tell why they hear say love no be only say man pocket go day. Man must sabi say poem must day. Okay. I won't tell you say for your sake I don't learn say for every way day. Poem go day, tell pocket say every pocket where no day with poem no go fit.
Makes sense.
So if you don't have
poem, what you say to win love, pocket must also be saying what you're poetizing.
And I know, looks like talking talking to women.
So is he saying that women must always look out for those?
I just laughed. I wasn't laughing because of what
I just
trying to, art for art's sake.
No, I'm just saying that, as it is.
They know that I support that women money thing. Is not very true.
It's not
about
true.
All women.
That is not true now.
Are you sure? How many?
List 3 of them. It's enough for me. I take it.
And you and them. So here is a woman that says she doesn't want money. Please note kurubu. All right, I'm going to read a parting short poetry. It's in a group we belong to called the Creative Writers Club alumni of the Abandoned University's area. In the Creative Writers Club, we used to meet in room 70. So room 70 was a classroom in the Ahmadu University. So when we created the platform online, some of us want us to call it room 70. So I wrote something about meeting somebody. And someone else who said he's happy to see you. And then I just went around and said, oh, there are so many E's nowadays. So this was inspired.
Okay.
This was 4 days ago or thereabouts. In the days we meet, we touch screens, not skin, lips pressed to pixels, sex in whispers sent through wires.
Can you imagine?
We dance alone in rooms where shadows click with music's echoes, where eyes see but never meet the so in this room 70. It's easy, they say, in the age of e-commerce, buy your heart with a password in the ether. Sell your dreams for a like while the world spins on e-business. Fingers on keyboards, chasing numbers and stocks, digits that drift in the air. We e-school our minds, but who feeds the hunger of those left behind in the e-poverty of broken screens, empty accounts? We e-feed on promises, waiting for agriculture, for crops that bloom from signals, but you're laughing. We e-feed on promises, waiting for e-agriculture, for crops that bloom from signals, not soil, for e-lies to be as true as the lies we know. We float in this e-economy where nothing is real, but everything is felt. The evils, like weevils, creeping in with each click.
This is good. This is good.
What's that E?
What's that E? I ask you.
What's that E? I feel like it's some part of that promise is swipe at Gen Z.
Oh my goodness. I had no Gen Z in mind.
Okay.
I just thought about how we have gone everything E. That's what was on my mind. But it might be something.
Everything. And I had E-sex.
Yeah, there's E-sex, and there are people who do that for a living.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
Taking us to Gen Z.
Oh my goodness. I didn't say that. No war intended.
I can see.
I didn't hear E-Naira.
Yeah, E-Naira. Okay, that's another one. Okay. When I edit, maybe I'll see where E-Naira can squeeze in, because I talked about the digital
marketing stuff.
Currency. In fact, my mind was working on Ethereum. So when I say the Ether. Anyway, so thank you so much for being with us. We're so glad that you've been with us in this cross-country poetry celebration by poets in Nigeria in partnership with Akweya TV. And we've got some some nice people in the studio, so it's a slip of tongue. And they have said, what are you saying to the people? Please be nice. Be nice.
I've had the best, and I mean, at the beginning of the show, I said, I hope I have insulted him, and trust me, I had that.
Okay, thank you. It's very polite. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, okay.
I think we should do this more often.
More often.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Celebrate with poets, please.
All right.
Everywhere you find it.
Yeah, okay. So, subscription to our channel and to the PIN channel. Look for them. PIN Nigeria. It's PIN Nigeria, right? Yeah. All right. Poets in Nigeria. You can find them everywhere, and you can find Akweya TV also on X, on Twitter. Well, same thing. I don't tire. If not, leave me alone. Bye bye. See you same time next week.